go to Home Depot? Just kidding. Milton's right here. This is fake, obviously. Hey everyone, welcome back to another vlog with Maddie and Milton. I'm so glad you're here, and also I'm so happy to be celebrating 1,000 subscribers. I can't believe there is 1,000 of you who wanted to join our Corgi community, join this crazy journey we're on, and I'm so thankful to everyone who has made this possible. If you aren't already subscribed, now is the time to do that. Just hit that button. It means a lot to us and helps us to continue making content for you to enjoy. So since today's topic of discussion is about training mistakes, I thought I would start the vlog with a little snippet of taking Milton to Home Depot for the very first time. And we're gonna walk around and look at some stuff, but also try and do some more socialization training with him. I don't know if there will be any other dogs there, but there will definitely be people, so he'll get to practice his greetings a bit and just, you know, being a calm boy out in public. I looked it up beforehand, and I'm about 90% certain that Home Depot allows dogs. The one thing I did read on this article by Rover is that some places don't, but most of them do, and like the aisles are really wide, so it's a lot of space for them to walk and, you know, just do some socialization training. And also, I believe the trainer that we've worked with in the past, which you've seen mentioned and heard in these vlogs, has done training with dogs at Home Depot, so we should be fine. It'll be interesting nonetheless though, because he's never been there, so I really don't know how he'll react. I'm sure he'll just be excited to see everything like he usually is in new places. Got back from Home Depot. The pup did pretty good, and we also stopped by this bakery that does like gluten-free vegan things. I got a sugar cookie, vegan, and I got a cinnamon roll. So definitely we'll be trying those later. Milton is drained from all that social interaction, and he also ate a lizard on the way up that we tried to get from him but could not. So, oh, puppy, you're sleepy. Yeah. So he's gonna take a nap, and we're watching football for the school that we both went to. So, pretty chill day. And later we're gonna do the training portion of this video. So I will see you then. Milton is hiding right here. He's being antisocial. But hello everyone, welcome back to the main portion of this video. Today I'm going to be talking about the biggest mistakes I made when raising my Corgi puppy. So Milton turns 1 year old on November 3rd, and so I thought that this was like a good time to kind of wrap up training with him and things I wish I would have done better raising a puppy, and specifically a Corgi puppy, so that if you are raising one or about to get a puppy, you can hopefully avoid some of these same mistakes that I did. The first mistake I'm going to talk about that I made with my puppy, and he's joining me right as I say that, is letting him pull on the leash. So when he was little, you know, he was my first dog I've ever had, my first puppy I've ever had, and I feel like I let him get away with a lot of things that at the time I didn't think were that big of a deal. And one of them was him pulling on the leash. Now, months later, when he's almost a year old, it's incredibly hard to train them on some of these problem behaviors when they're much older. And so letting him pull on the leash, we're now having to work through on reversing that. But it's been ingrained in him for so long that it has taken a lot of time to reduce the problem, and we're still not out of the woods on it yet. We are still working on it. And in this same vein, My biggest recommendation is to not use a retractable leash. We didn't, thankfully. We used a regular leash throughout his whole entire puppyhood, but the trainer we've worked with has said that retractable leashes are one of the worst tools for teaching leash walking because the length adjusts on them. So the dog can kind of just do whatever they want. Like, you really have no control over them with a retractable leash. So my recommendation, just get a standard like normal leash, not too long, not too short. And we got a biothane leash, which, let me actually get it so I can show you what it looks like. So this is a biothane leash. It is basically a synthetic leather material that is waterproof and pretty durable. And so it's also lightweight too, so in terms of leash walking training, it doesn't weigh the dog down when you're leash walking them. It's very light and just durable, so I recommend this. You can get them on Amazon. There's one in our Amazon shop link below if you want to check that out. But this is a great tool to have for training leash walking. The next mistake I want to touch on it's kind of a two-part thing. It's that we didn't teach him drop it with his toys and food, and we also didn't practice taking away and giving back chews and food when he was a puppy. And so the reason why this is so important is because some dogs, and a lot of dogs I would say actually, can have some sort of behavior known as resource guarding. This means whether it be a food or a toy or something, they don't want you to take it away, and it stems from their natural wild instinct to protect their resources. And so you need to teach them that it's okay if things are taken away from them, because it doesn't mean they're never going to get them back, or there will always be a positive benefit to having something taken away. Once again, I didn't know this until after the problem had reared its ugly head in the form of him growling and like snapping at us when we were trying to take a bully stick away from him, and we didn't really even know what it was called until we started working with our trainer. One of the things he recommended that I am recommending to you is, even if your dog is not showing any resource guarding behaviors, practice taking away things from them. And if you feel uncomfortable, you can do this in the presence of a trainer. And especially if your dog is showing resource guarding behaviors, you should always do it in the presence of a trainer, because we don't want you to get hurt, we don't want the dog to get hurt or stressed, and trainers have that knowledge to safely train this behavior. The next thing that I wish we would have done a better job at training in Milton was proper greetings of other dogs. And this coincides with leash walking because usually it is something that is done on a leash. So like if you're out walking your dog and another dog approaches or comes past, your dog greets them calmly and properly. They don't, try to pull after them. They don't like jump on them, go crazy, whether it's good crazy or bad crazy. They just greet them calmly. And this was once again something that we did not practice with Milton, and so now, in addition to the leash walking, it's something we're having to work through. And so, just a general word to the wise from our trainer that I'm now sharing with you is that you should be the one giving your dog permission to greet other dogs and humans. They should not go up and do it. They should always be looking to you for that permission. If you can practice now when they're young, having them sit, look at you, and then you release them to greet, that's awesome. We did not do that with Milton. That's the ideal situation. We didn't do that with him. So now I'm kind of having to body block him and like make him sit and then giving him the command. And even still, it's hard if the other dog is acting like really energy crazy to do this, because then he wants to play with them too. Once your dog greets the other dog, you should keep it brief. You shouldn't let them like play and like roll around on the leash and let the leash get tight, which is once again something we didn't do because at the time I didn't think it was a problem, but now that he's almost a year, that is a problem. So that whole greeting thing is something that would be much easier to train and work on when they're a puppy versus when they're almost a year old and kind of out of that ideal training phase. The next thing I wish we would have done more frequently with our dog has to do with his grooming routines. So we did brush him very occasionally when he was a puppy, but we didn't make it like a daily or a weekly habit. So he's not reactive to the brush, but he still to this day doesn't really like sit still and let me brush him. And part of the reason why he's like this is when he was a puppy, he didn't really shed the way that adult corgis do shed. So I just, in my mind, was like, oh, well, I don't need to brush him. Like, he's not really shedding yet. Like, he's fine. Now that he's shedding a lot, it's much harder to get him to sit down for a brushing session. Versus I've seen a lot of corgis on Instagram and YouTube who just sit down and chill while their parents brush their hair or, you know, do their nails, and they're totally fine. So I recommend when you have them as a little puppy, making them get used to the sensation of being touched and being handled, whether that's with their feet, their ears, their back. Get them used to it and then introduce those tools, so that way when they're adults and you have to actually like brush their hair and do their nails and brush their teeth, they're fine with it. And the last thing that I will share, which is something I wish we would have worked on more with Milton, was his recall work. So this is the act of having him come or listening to his name. He's good at it in quiet spaces, but he's not good at it in like spaces where there are other dogs, like dog parks or restaurants, just because there's so much sensory things going on. Of course he knows his name and he'll listen to come, but it's not as seamless and quick as it should be. One tool that I've heard helps a lot with this is if you get a long line leash, so they're like 20-foot long leashes, you can practice the recall without them being like fully unleashed and having the risk of running away. And so that's it. That is all I have for some of the biggest mistakes I made training my puppy. I hope you found this video helpful, and if you have a mistake that you made when raising your puppy that you would like to share, feel free to leave it in the comments so we can all help each other out to be the best dog owners that we can be. If you're not already subscribed to our channel, make sure to like and subscribe so that you never miss a new upload with Maddie Milton. We'll see you in the next vlog. Bye!